I'm joined now from Schreiner University by the SCAC Pitcher of the Week, Caleb Allen, and the SCAC Offensive Player of the Week, Josh Gilliam. Guys, thanks for joining me. Congratulations on the awards.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
With your 2 games over the weekend, you were able to get your first win of the season against LeTourneau, helping your team to a win in the second half of a doubleheader. Talk about that game and what was working for you.
I had a lot of success with my fastball during the game. Was able to miss a lot of bats with it early, and that really set up some of my breaking stuff, and I was able to do some different things with pitching counts and staying ahead of batters and really just keeping the pressure on them, and that was where I had a lot of my success.
In that game, the only run you allowed was in the 5th inning, which made it a 1-run game at that time. But following that, you held LeTourneau without a hit in the next 3 innings. How did you bounce back and keep them off the scoreboard?
Just making sure I kept with the approach that the coaches had put together for us, making sure I stayed ahead of batters and minimized the amount of base runners I had to make it easier on myself and the guys in the field to have success and get outs.
All right, and then I'll move over to you now, Josh. Over the weekend, you guys did have a 1-1 record against LeTourneau, and in those 2 games, you hit .714 and slugged .1143. It seemed like everything was working well for you. So talk about your performance and what you were seeing at the plate.
Honestly, I was seeing almost every pitch, honestly, that the pitchers could throw. I just was expecting fastball on everyone, but if they would throw me a curveball or something, I'd be ready for it. But honestly, it was kind of like looking at a beach ball up there, to be honest, this weekend.
All right, and then in the win, your first 2 times up to the plate were with 2 outs, and you were able to bring runners home both times. Do you approach your at-bat differently when you head to the plate in that kind of situation?
Yes and no. I obviously every time we go, I'm trying to get a hit, but I feel when we have 2 outs and there's a guy left on, that we should try to get him as best as possible because that could lead us to winning later on in the game.
All right, and this last question's for both of you guys. You guys will be at home against Dallas Christian this weekend, so talk about what you're looking to do in those games and if there's anything you need to do differently to prepare for them.
I think we can have a lot of success against Dallas Christian. Last year we did have a lot of success. I think we can repeat that this year. The approach is pretty similar to what we did with LeTourneau. Obviously cleaning up some of the smaller things that we did that, made it harder for us this past weekend. But I think the approach is pretty similar. Just continue to do what we're going to do, and everything will fall into place, and we'll have a lot of success this weekend.
Yeah, I feel like all of us hitters, if we just step up to the plate and just put the ball in play and make it easier for our pitchers, I think we'll have success this weekend.
All right, guys. Well, now we're going to move on to the next part of the interview, which is the Take 3 segment. I'm going to ask you 3 random questions so we can get to know you a little bit better. You guys ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you guys are both going to answer each of these questions. So the first one, if someone turned on your music, whether it's your Spotify or Apple Music, whatever it may be, what is one song or album they'd see on the recently played list?
An album on my recently played list. I actually listen to Alice in Chains before I pitch, so that would be on the Dirt album would be on the recently played list for me.
Yeah. For mine, I think before every game I listen to one of my walk-up songs. It's Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill.
Since the Winter Olympics just wrapped up, if you guys were competing in one sport there, what would it be?
Ooh, with the Winter Olympics, I'd probably compete in the downhill skiing. I think that's a really neat event and something that'd be really neat to do.
I think for me, I'd want to, because I like to do board sports as well, I think I would go for the half pipe and give Sean White a competition.
Perfect. All right, and the last question. If you were stranded on a deserted island, what are 3 things you'd want to have with you?
3 things I'd like to have would be tools to build things with, a means of starting a fire, and a clean source of water.
Well, that's a tough one, honestly. Definitely the fire starter, no doubt. A pillow. I want a pillow for sure, so I can sleep good at night. And satellite phone, so I can get off the island, hopefully.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me, and congratulations again on the awards.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.